1994. Nintendo presents Metroid 3. Super Metroid. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another playthrough of the Metroid series. This time I'm going through Metroid 3, Super Metroid. And as you can see, I've done multiple playthroughs of this game already. And that is because I was originally going to plan to show you guys the second playthrough of this game, but I was dissatisfied by the time and the ending I got. So this time I decided to record a nice, very cool speedrun of this game. And boy howdy, is a lot better than the first one.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
I first battled the Metroids on planet Zebus. It was there that I foiled the plans of the space pirates, leader Mother Brain, to use the creatures to attack galactic civilizations. I love this recreation. I next found the Metroids on their homeworld, SR-388. I completely eradicated them except for a larva, which after hatching followed me like a confused child. I personally delivered it to the Galactic Research Station at Ceres, so scientists could study its energy-producing qualities. The scientists' findings were astonishing. They discovered that the powers of the Metroid might be harnessed for the good of civilization. Satisfied that all was well, I left the station to seek a new bounty to hunt. But I had hardly gone beyond the asteroid belt when I picked up a distress signal. Ceres Station was under attack. Thus, the beginning of Metroid has begun, and I love this intro. A nice recap of the past two games. And we get a brand new little thing here. Oh, it's great. And as I'm rolling through here, I'm going to quickly read through the manual to see the nice stories that they attached here. Because like I said, there are some hidden things here that we could be doing. So let's take a look at there. And I love the beginning of this area here at the space station. There's no hidden items here, so feel free to go as fast as you can. And it really sets the tone of how different this game is. Because look right here, look at that. So many dead humans and scientists are right here. And if we go into the next room over there, we see the Marvel larvae, but we see an old rival of ours, Ridley, protecting it. Now, this is really important in Metroid lore, because as you know, back in Metroid 1, both in the very first one I played, as well as Zero Mission, we canonically have already killed Ridley at this point. So why is Ridley here again? Many questions we can ponder over this. But anyway, as soon as we get down to here, we see that Ridley flies away, and the self-destruct sequence of this colony is forced to happen. And with no other choice, we're forced to leave this area as fast as we can. And we head over to the last known area of Ridley, back on planet Zebus. And here, the story of Super Metroid begins. Now, this early bits is something interesting, because at this point, as we all know, in order to beat both Metroid 1 and even Metroid 2, we had to gather so many weapons as well as power-ups, But as right now, we don't have any of those, which is really sad. Again, really gets you to think like why Samus doesn't have all those stuff at the beginning. I know it's Nintendo's policy, especially when it comes to Metroid series, always to make sure when any Metroid game, Samus always starts with the bare minimum. And we go into this tube down here. You can see this game is really advanced because now we have doors leading to the ground now. As you can see, this is the ending sequence back in Metroid 1. We're going back in reverse now. Here's where we defeated Mother Brain and all those test tubes that we went through there. But now if we head all the way to the right over there, there's a brand new area for us. Where does this lead? Well, it leads no other than the very first place that we went to back in Metroid. And guess what? This power-up is still here, the Morphin Ball. And oh yeah, and an added benefit they put into this game is now you can angle up and down when shooting your little thing. So no longer are those little enemies on the ground an annoyance. And you can actually go through here already thanks to the nice angles here. And you need to do that to get us our very second power-up already, the missiles. And literally, in less than 30 seconds, you should have the Morph Ball and the missile power-up. Nice. Great, and now once we start heading back there, we see this whole place is now starting getting infested by space pirates. Something that was completely absent in the first game. Very interesting. And actually, fun fact, these space pirates are known as Speedruns, and they're going to be a little bit more important in other Metroid games I'm going to be covering in a little bit. But what's interesting about the space pirates is that they don't have a consistent design. In fact, it seems like a lot of games, they purposely change the designs based around where they're living at or what's happened to them. Because it seems like they are definitely creatures that not only steal for a living, but they also adapt to whatever culture or whatever planet they are from and take that form of it. Very interesting. Anyway, now that we got missiles here, we can go through this red door right up here, right after the Metroid 6 sequence. And you'll find yourself a very first map room. Now that's just one of the best things that Super Metroid introduced, is a nice map. So that way you can see everything. Although it's not entirely that detailed, I do prefer to look at an actual real map that has all the rooms. So I'm going to post a link down below on the other map I have on my second monitor as well. That helps you. Plus, when you're doing a speedrun, it just helps to have a second map so you know where everything is at. Oh yeah, and I did take a look in the manual to see if there's any new lore in there. It seems like there's only one page of new lore, and I'll read it out to you guys now. A new discovery. The science academic found out that the energy-producing properties of the Metroid could benefit humankind. The report suggests that the Metroids may have originally been created for peaceful purposes. Just when it seemed peace and order has been resolved, Samus received an emergency directive from the Galactic Federation. And we find ourselves our next power-up, the bombs. And as you can see, we're now trapped in here. And that's because, not only are space pirates more advanced now with all this room building and stuff, but they actually started taking these Chozo artifacts and using them as weapons of destruction now. And if you've seen my Metroid Prime video, you know how sacrilege this actually is. And after defeating the statue, after unfortunately destroying the statue, we head on out and we give our thanks and peace. Emergency. Return immediately to the Space Science Academy. When Samus made her way to the research facility, she found the building in ruins and the Metroid larva was nowhere to be found. Out of the darkness came a group of Sebastian space pirates and their leader, Ridley, who had Metroid larva in tow. The pirates fled to rebuild planet Sabus and Samus followed them, resolving to finish them off and save the hatchling. Yep, and that's just the beginning story of Metroid, Super Metroid. Pretty much a little bit of the same, but a lot more details about the past of a few games. So nothing that too much new, other than the fact that in both this story and as well as the story we read in the beginning, it seems like Metroids weren't originally just weapons or besides. It seems like they were created by something with the purpose of achieving peace of some kind. In fact, humans were actually hoping to use Metroids to benefit humankind. It's strange, like how something can be used so viciously. And now you can go into this wall over here and grab yourself your very first energy tank. Now this is something cool that they do in this game that I realized after playing it a bit, is that the space pirates actually change a lot throughout this game. In fact, if you notice, these space pirates right here are actually green, meaning that if you try shooting with your regular shots, it actually does no damage. So you actually have to use missiles to defeat these ones. And we make it down into our first area over here, which is like a jungle area. You go into this red door over here, and you can't go that far, but you'll see there's a missile expansion right there you can just grab up. Then you head to the left side over there. There's a nice missile refill station, so you can refill on everything. Then what you want to do is just head right through this missile door. You'll end up in this weird area right over here. And what you want to do is start climbing your way upwards. Go through this red door over here. And I always recommend using these infinite enemies to fill up on all your missiles. Just because there's a lot of really annoying enemies, and you have to defeat them to open up the next door. And once you do, you make your way to the very first boss. Look at that. Barely 5 minutes into the run and you're already at your first boss. God, Metroid's actually super cool. Fortunately, this first boss is actually really lame. You actually have to start hitting him when he opens his mouth like that. It can be tricky because sometimes he hits a little bit higher than you can actually jump sometimes. And plus these pollen things can be really annoying, so I just like staying in this corner over here, occasionally shooting upwards. He shouldn't be able to hit you that often, and it gives you a nice vantage for when you shoot him. Anyway, after his defeat, he kind of like petrifies, and you can use him as a platform to get up here. Then you jump on this green pipe right here, make it like a nice Mario reference. It gives us our first missile upgrade, the super missiles. And after playing so many of the other Metroid games, it's just such a huge... I forgot how like awesome it is to get super missiles so early in the game. With that, we make it over here, grab this missile expansion over here, come on down here to get our next big upgrade, the charge shot. Now this is actually, in a lot of Metroid games, it's kind of like a default thing, just because charge shot is pretty much the same power as like one missile, but it just takes longer to charge up, so it's a little bit worse. But it is still useful when you run out of missiles. Anyway, after sprinting over here, blasting down this green door, you make it into this weird red room over here. What you want to do is start climbing your way downwards and blast a hole into the floor over here. Go through the green door over here to give yourself a nice full restore. And the enemy designs in this game, I will also notice, are like super weird. You got a weird like caterpillar thing here, you got a weird cactus spiny thing. And oh look, this room I have such bad memories of. Why? You'll see soon enough. Anyway, you come over here, we actually make it our way into this either Brinstar or Norfail already. Make all the way down to this red door over here and you find yourself another energy tank. Nice. Alright, and then what you want to do is blast through here and you get your next power up, the high jump. Really nice power up. And with the high jump, we can get yourself another missile tank. And after that, go over to the right side up here, drop the quick save right there. I know it's not proficient for speedruns to save, especially for Metroid ones, but you know, safety first. You never know what kind of BS you might trans. Because I've noticed you can get stun locked pretty easily in this game. Anyway, you come over here, blast through these little enemies over here, go through this hidden door right over here, and you'll find yourself right here. There is a hidden missile tank in there. I don't think I learned how to do this trick yet, but if you know how to do bomb jumps, you can bomb jump your way all the way up there in order to get the next missile tank. That way you don't have to... Anyway, yeah. In the floor over here, you see this nice crack right here. Just bomb it, and you'll see our next area we get to go to. And you'll go into a nice big corridor with space pirates and something shooting lots of thorns at you. Back at the end, you see, oh, it's Ridley. It's not Ridley. It's Craig. Oh, nice. That was easy. He was a nice little reference back in then. But before you go too far, when you make it to this room, jump up here. There's a nice both energy and missile refill station over here. Go down there. You'll see a nice corpse there. Nice little reference. And you'll see that that Craig was actually just a really small version of this Craig right here. Yep, it's heavily implied that this Craig that we defeat is actually the fully evolved version of that Craig we faced. And the Craig we did face was just an infant the very first time we came by in Metroid 1. Again, super interesting stuff. They do a lot of that stuff with throughout the Metroid series. I recently just finished up my playthrough of Metroid Other M, and let me tell you, that game gets weird with evolutionaries of creatures. But my god, is it cool. Anyway, the reward for defeating Craig is obviously our Varia suit, so now we can go back into Brinstar/Norfair, go into this room over here, and now that we're heat-proof, we can traverse it. And now what you want to do is be very careful around here, destroy all these bad guys, and you'll see there's actually one missile tank hidden right here. And this one was actually super annoying for me to get, just because if you mistime it or don't play it correctly, you can actually think you grabbed it, but you actually didn't. So what you want to do is just just be on a safe side, just bomb that thing instead of shoot it, so you can see where it is, and then pick it up right afterwards. And after that, you make it into this nice little bubbly room over here, go through the hidden passage all the way on the right side over there to grab a missile tank, then you can drop down the hidden passage in the middle to make it into this room over here of Norfair. And you know you're heading the right way when you start seeing these lava pillars and gushers all over the place. Alright, and you eventually find yourself passing by so many like open mouth piranhas kind of things into the walls, and these little speed boost traps right over here. Super annoying. But before you get too far, all you have to do is just move on right up here, and you'll eventually find yourself back into that room over here, but on a higher plane. Just go to the door on the right and just start mad dashing all the way through. Yep, and if you do, you get yourself the best item in the whole game, the speed booster. And before you start running like Red, there's actually a hidden missile tank right here in front of the door. I did it afterwards because I forgot about it a little bit, but I'm able to get it and speed my way over there with taking no damage. Let's go. And now with Speed Booster, we can do so many fun little tricks and awesome things here. And I like going to here a little bit earlier, because if you make your way through here in this one little spot, you'll find yourself the best weapon in our game, the Ice Beam. And that's right, the Ice Beam makes a return. And like all the other times, it can be used to freeze enemies and make them into platforms. And with that, that's all we can do here in Norfair. So let's head right back on up. Then you'll make it back into this room over here. There's actually one hidden passageway upwards over here that grants you another weapon upgrade. I will be getting all the weapon upgrades just because it is technically canon. And what I mean by that is, you'll see in the next game I play. But yep, and it gives us the Spacer upgrade. What this does is allows us to shoot 3 beams at once. Before, back in Metroid 2, we only had to choose between all the power-ups we get, but in this game, they combine them all into one thing. And with that, we can make our way over here and do some nice Ice Beam platforming, and we find ourselves our next big upgrade, the Power Bombs. Samus's greatest, awesomest ability. And if you just head straight upwards from the platforms up there, you can actually find yourself the very first expansion for the Power Bombs. And what the Power Bombs do is not only do they allow you to clear out the area super fast of all the enemies, but they allow you to open up certain doors as well. Anyway, now we go back to where we got our Ice Beam. We can now Power Bomb this little area over here. Go on hot straight down. And there is a tight window here to what you can do. And thank God for Nintendo Online. If you quickly shoot as you're spinning, you can actually get yourself a hidden missile tank that's hidden right there. Again, that missile tank is super mean. Anyway, after that, you could just speed through over here, get to this green door on the floor here, and you'll find yourself to the next boss fight. This guy. I actually don't know this creature's name. Let me quickly look it up and see if I can find it. It is called a Crockmire. And the way to defeat it is whenever it opens its mouth, just shoot a missile to it. It stumbles on backwards, and it'll eventually fall into the lava over there. And then you just rush over to the left side over there, and you can see it try to attack you for one final breath, fails, and then crumbles. Sad existence. Anyway. Alright, and if you head left to where he perished, you'll find yourself in this area over here. A nice little refill station right there, as well as a save point. And that one shoots off 5 things, so definitely make sure you grab that. Immediately drop down, go through this red door over here. Find yourself another missile tank at the end over there. Head on back, drop on down even lower. And what you want to do is immediately power bomb this area. Head all the way to the right, go all the way to the left, and you go see yourself a nice ramp that you could use your speed booster on. And that gives you our brand new power-up, the grapple beam. Now this one's actually super good in this game. This is the first appearance of it, and it allows you to latch onto certain walls as well as enemies. Okay, it's super fun in this game. And I found this out much later in my playthrough of the first time, is that you can actually adjust the length of the grapple beam to make it bigger or smaller. Bigger actually makes it so your swings are so much better, where shorter is probably like a lot faster though. Anyway, with all that said and done, you'll eventually grab your way back into this room over here. And if you grapple onto this enemy over here, do a really big swing, you'll find yourself another power bomb expansion. And with that, if you speed boost all the way over here, I know you could technically do like a nice shine spark thing right over here, but I like literally just rushing, jumping, getting as far as I can, and just damage boosting my way over to this energy tank over here. You could also use the grapple beams above, but again, speed is everything in this game. Anyway, you start climbing upwards, you start seeing red pirates now. But luckily, now that we have the ice beam and spacer, they are no threat. And I like to make this detour right here, just so I can grab this missile expansion, because there's a lot. Guys, I still need to figure out the best way to optimize all this item collection. I know I haven't naturally found all the items yet. I could Google it, but I like having a nice natural thing. Especially with Super Metroid, because I enjoyed this game so much. All this stuff is literally my own original pathing. I haven't had to use a guide, I haven't used nothing to figure all this stuff out. As well as these little tricks I'm trying to pull off here. Guys, the only thing that I would say that's bad about this game is trying to execute some of these tricks. Such as this one over here. Because like I said, I haven't learned how to do the power bomb trick yet here. So instead what I do for a lot of those instead is I jump up right above it and I quickly mash down to morph into a ball. That way I can slip in there as soon as I can. And with that trick done, I can actually get ourselves our very first reserve tanks. Now these things are interesting because as soon as your energy hits 0, a reserve tank will actually start filling it up depending on how many you collected. And that, if you make it your way over here, with your new grapple beam, you can actually swing your way over here now and grab yourself the next part of our weapons upgrades, the wave beam. Now what these does is that actually, as you saw before, our beams just kind of stopped with enemies and one hit, but now if it can hit multiple enemies in a row, it actually goes through the enemies now. Really cool. Could explain why Samus's beams all have that weird transition properties with other transition things, where it could just go through them in Smash Brothers. Interesting stuff. Anyway, that's all we can do right now for Norfair, so let's head right back into Brinstar and start climbing our way up. And with that, we can go back into this door over here, and with our grapple beam now, we can swing our way all the way to the end here to get our very first visor upgrade, I believe it is. Yep, and we can grab ourselves a nice X-ray scope. Now this thing is weird just because it's better in a lot of other games, but what it does is that if you're having trouble finding what defeats these certain blocks, or if there's a block that's hidden that you think holds a secret, you can turn it on and it allows you to see what kind of block defeats these things. Again, it kind of it kind of defeats the purpose though, because it just kind of feels a little bit useless sometimes, because you can do the same results with a power bomb, where it like sheds the skin of it and it shows you exactly what it's weak to. Anyway, with that, but it's part of the thing. So with that in tow, just head over to the right side over here, head all the way back up, and you'll find yourself back on the surface over here, and speed boost your way over here. Now what you want to do is, the technical term of this is called shine sparking. I don't know who developed it, who said it, or what it's for, why it's called that. It just reminds me so much of fucking Fox's Shine in Melee. But what you do is, when you're doing a speed boost, what you want to do is press downward so you stop, and you'll do a nice crouching animation. Now press the jump button and hold it any direction, and Samus will start flying in that direction. You will lose health for every like millisecond or transecond that you're moving, so be wary of that. But if you transect all the way over here, power bomb this little area over here, you'll find yourself a hidden passage right in these rocks. Go through that passage right at the end over there. Try not to die. What you want to do is definitely on the safe areas, power bomb as much as you can. This is why we collected all those power bombs as much as we can. Make your way all the way to the end to find yourself another energy tank. Let's go. But be wary, because the lava rising is still not over yet. If you continue your power bomb shenanigans all the way to the end over here, you'll eventually see a dead end, which is not. Now this is one of the hardest speedrun challenges, I think is the thing. You have to land directly on these two blocks over here. It takes you a few tries, and that way all these blocks will start disintegrating. Shoot both left and right to reveal both missile packs so you can get them at the same time. And with that in tow, you can make your way all the way back to your ship to the right side over there. Give yourself a nice save point and reload, because where we're heading to next is going to be a long one. Alright, now what you want to do is start running your way to the right up here through this green door on the surface. And you'll see, now that we have everything in tow, we start using literally everything right in the row. The speed booster, the super missiles, the power bomb, as well as the grapple hook. Literally everything is used right here to get us to this area right here. Now what this is, but before you want to go too far, head on straight down, blast this little rock right here, get yourself another missile expansion, do some nice platforming on these like metal beams over here. Make your way all the way to this door over here, and you'll find yourself in like a lost ship area over here. Now this is where the story gets a little bit weird, because there's a lot of theories about what actually happened here. But what you want to do is head all the way down here, go through that eye door over here, and you'll find yourself face to face with like a ghost of the ship. And actually, after seeing this boss again, I'm actually recognizing this boss a lot more, because it's also appeared in another game, so I'm gonna have to do more research on this one. Because this thing is not only is it like a boss we have to defeat in this game, so we know it's connected to space pirates, but once it's defeated, it actually restores power to this entire facility. So not only is it important for us wise, but it could be very important for story wise. And I'm pretty sure also in Metroid Zero or whatever, Zero Mission I should say, they actually did a recreation of this area as well in there, just so you know that this whole area right here isn't like a space pirate thing, or if it was a space pirate thing, it happened all the way back in Metroid 1. So this area right here isn't a new area that just happened while we were gone. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Just go to these rooms, grab the missile expansions, come up here to save for a bit. Make your way all the way up here. You'll see a whole bunch of enemies. Now this room is really, really annoying, because you do have to clear out every enemy both on the left and right side to open up both the doors. So I like cleaning off the ones on the left first and go to the right to open up this door. But as I'm cleaning it, you'll notice in the background over there are pictures of Metroids here. Again, so I gotta redo a lot of research on this place. Again, more things to think about too. Anyway, you come over here. What you want to do is shine spark in this area over here. I don't know how speedrunners figure out the exact place for this stuff. But yeah, if you shine spark over here, blast this wall over here. Again, how is anyone supposed to figure this out? I think I figured it out just because I was like shooting randomly and I just saw it. And just grab that missile tank that's hidden in the cliff over there. Then come over to this area over here, power bomb, and you'll see a whole bunch of openings we can go through. Go through all those things, and you'll eventually make yourself into this hidden area of the place. Where find another Chozo statue. Oh yeah, there's a Chozo statue in here. Okay, yeah, so that definitely implies this is definitely a Chozo artifact place here. And we'll find ourselves our next upgrade, the gravity suit. So now, water will never slow us down, and we can actually speed boost our way through it. And this is where things get a little bit sad, because if you come over here, you'll see like a decrepit statue. What you want to do is power bomb it, revealing a hidden passage over there, and do some nice platforming to give yourself another reserve tank. And with all that item collection done, we can now finally head over to the right side of this area. And if you can go all the way right if you're feeling risky, but you can go all the way upwards over here, do some nice Metroid platforming to get yourself another energy tank. Alright, and just make your way all the way to the right side. You'll start falling down. You make it into a weird like morph ball maze over here. And you're probably wondering, huh, how come in Metroid 2 they gave us like a spring ball, and in this game we have to do every bomb jump imaginable? Funny you say that, because once we make it into this new area over here, and this area is my least favorite area over here, just because not only is it like visually like uglier than all the rest of it, you know, I've never been a big fan of swamp, marshy, and sand areas, but everything's just super annoying over here. There is a lot of cool jumps you can do here, but it's just so visually nonsense and confusing. Alright, if you come over here, and this is the hardest thing I had to do, was come over here. You had to grab onto here, let it destroy. Then what you want to do is start platforming your way all the way up here, wall jumping, shooting these very annoying creatures, because they will wreck you. And again, that's a huge time waste. And then you come over here to this guy over here. And this thing is also like, if you want to go fast, very frame perfect kind of thing. Because what I'm going to do as soon as you get in here, lay a power bomb. So that way it can destroy these sand blocks, because that's the only thing that can destroy sand blocks here. Super annoying. And then once you drop down, go to the left side over there, and you'll find yourself our next power up, the spring ball. So now we can jump in morph ball form. Again, and I really need to figure out like the proper timing to jump in this game, because I feel like I'm just get stuck in the quicksand way too much. I know that's the purpose of quicksand, but still, you are able to jump out of it onto these platforms. Every platform you can do it, but it's just I had never figured out the right timing. I need to study that game apart more. Anyway, drop down over here, come to the right side, grab yourself the map of this area. Come to the left side over here, and you see we actually wrap all the way back around, back into Brinstar, and back to that area where we blew up. And this is important because now, with our gravity suit, we can actually go up from here, and actually start exploring this part of the area more. And right now, I'm trying to do a really tight trick, because what you have to do is shine spark all the way over here, and as soon as you touch down on the right side over there, as soon as you go through the door over here, head downwards, move yourself in the right position in between all this stuff, and jump up to grab yourself another missile pack. Alright, and now head on down over here, and right up against the wall over here in the next room, there's a hidden passageway. Go through it, grab yourself a super missile upgrade. And then we'll eventually find ourselves over here, where we find not only the pink space pirates, but these ones we need a new weapon to kill. But we also find ourselves a little Mario Easter egg over here. Because not only an ender chink lies all the way up here, but if you head up against the wall over here, you'll find yourself some missiles. And these creatures over here, I swear to God, remind me so much of the Buzzlebeetle enemies in Mario. And they literally, and the mother of it reminds me is doing the same shell spin attack as Bowser in Smash Brothers. So literally, the Mario universe and the Metroid universe can be like super similar. This, because those things are like right on the money for Mario enemies right there. Anyway, after that little ranting, you'll want to do is platform your way all the way up here. You'll eventually find yourself in this room over here. Go to the hidden passageway to the right for another missile upgrade. This whole area up here is just going to be grabbing some more missiles and stuff and upgrades that we want. So if you just continue going upwards and leftwards, you eventually find yourself with both a super missile and a missile upgrade in this little area. But unfortunately, that's all there is, so head on right back. And back in that pink pipe room, you'll want to drop a regular bomb right here, revealing a hidden passageway. And if you super bomb these areas over here, just for some quick things, you'll find yourself a save point. And from there, do a nice little speed shine spark right here. Jump on up for a missile pack and a super missile upgrade. They're just giving these things out to you. And now I'm going to try to perform a really tight trick right over here, where if you shine spike right here, you can immediately grapple beam. It takes me a few tries, but eventually do it, and you can speed your way into the next room over there, where we find ourselves the first instances of Metroids here. Now with all our power-ups and stuff, these guys are actually pretty simple. They may look encased, but now with all our upgrades, we can just shoot them through it. We'll eventually go over here and face ourselves with a little mini boss over here, this weird Spire Dragon over here. He's not that hard, just spam missiles when he shows up, and he should be no trouble. But now we come over here, and you'll see there's a missile tank right over there. But what you want to do first is just shine spark, it's just speed boost your way all the way through over here. And then at the end over here, come on back, jump up there to grab the missile dimension. And since I've been using a lot of missiles on a lot of things, I think it's best to go over here, use this infinite spawning of 5 enemies at a time to quickly refill all your missiles and ammo as much as you need. And you'll find yourself in this cool area over here, where they actually use the grapple beam in such a cool way to where you can actually wall jump off of other walls from it. Really cool use for it. And I just figured out too, you can actually use the grapple beam to kill these Metroids, one-shot them even. It's actually super cool and hilarious. When you grab your beam all the way up here, you'll find yourself a save station as well as a full health upgrade. Now just be worried, because as soon as you do, the Metroids you killed previously will respawn. And if you platform your way over here, you'll find yourself another missile upgrade, as well as this eyeball over here. And from there, we'll actually find ourselves our next big bad of the game. This fish creature. Let me see its name. But this one isn't that hard, but it's just super annoying. It'll swoop in left and right. What you want to do is stay pretty close and make sure you avoid all its webbings. If it webs you, it will grab you and it'll be super annoying to deal with afterwards. Just stay pretty close to him. Spam as many missiles as you can and it'll go down eventually. And the reward for defeating it is our space jump. Yep, it's coming back from Metroid 2. Our ability to infinitely jump in the air is here. And with that, we can transfer us back into these pipe rooms over here, go up the hidden hallway all the way up there, and make our way all the way back around. And this is why I love Metroid games and playing them all, because it's actually super cool to see what elements from other Metroid games inspires this. Because like I said, all these this power-up actually came in what people would say the worst Metroid game. But it's such a fun tool that people can't help but love it in this game, because it's a better game. And with that, we can platform our way all the way up here, drop on down, and you'll find ourselves the plasma beam upgrade. And with that, we get all the weapon upgrades, and we can deal with these pirates no sweat. And now with our space jump, we can quickly go through these sand rooms, to so much better. It's so much better with the space jump now. Make our way back all the way around. And if you come back over here in Maria, there's actually some other things we can grab here now that we completed a full loop and have our space beams and plasma beams. You can actually drop down here, drop down into this sand pit here, which actually travels you to this hidden little area over here. In this area, you can actually grab yourself a power bomb through this little maze on the right side over here, as well as a missile on the left side over there. And to exit, all you have to do is just fall in the sand pit over here, and you'll find yourself into this area. And now, what you want to do now is do that whole thing again, but instead of going to the first sand pit, go to the second sand pit, you'll find yourself another hidden room. Now, this is one of the main reasons why I think I won't be 100%ing this game, just because there's so many arbitrary little places and backtracking things you have to do for this game. It's so much better just to run full speed ahead without collecting all the items for it. But it could be a fun little challenge. Let me know if you guys want me to attempt it for you guys, because I am more than willing to give it a shot when I get to ZSS's and or Ridley's next video. Anyway, on the left side over here, do another maze. You'll find yourself a reserve tank and a missile upgrade up here. And with all those items found, I say we have ourselves a nice little lead to go into over here now. And the fastest way actually to it is if you come back over here and you go up to the very first ceiling door over here. You can actually give yourself a nice little fast travel back into this area over here of Red Star. And once you're here, go all the way to the left, drop on down to the left over here, and drop on down, head all the way to the right side over here, make your way all the way down to Norfair. Because now, with all this stuff in town, it's finally time to go pay our arch nemesis a visit now. And to get to him, all you have to do is, once you travel back into this bubble room, head straight down right after the door. Head straight into the lava, because now with both the gravity suit and Varia suit, this lava is no longer a threat to us, as well as the space jump. And with the space jump, literally everything just becomes arbitrary. Just head straight over to the left over here, go over everything, power bomb this area over here to reveal a golden Chozo statue, which lowers the lava, allowing us to go to this hidden passage over here. And now, this is where we find a really hard mini-boss, where we have to fight a golden Chozo statue. Now, this one is, on my very first attempt, super hard to do. It literally got me down to last hit. But it did inspire me to write it into my theories, so I'm going to say. And the reward for destroying it is our screw attack. So now we can infinitely jump with no repercussions. Now every small enemy in the game just becomes arbitrarily weak. Hooray! God, I love the screw attack. It's such a good item. You'll find ourselves the golden space pirates. And guess what? They can only be killed by our little screw attack. And eventually, once we make our way up, go to the left over here, you'll find yourself into this room over here. And what you want to do is hug the wall over there to find yourself our next missile pack. But if you play everything carefully, you can actually do a quick jump up here, and you can actually fast travel your way right back up into that room again, instead of having to backtrack all the way around. And with that, we go into a nice quick area over here where the lava's rising. But if you're fast enough, you won't even see it. You'll eventually find yourself over here. And what you want to do is just start lighting power bombs left and right to make it through all these areas over here. You'll eventually find these like cool ruins over here. These really cool Chozo ruins are like hidden deep underground. You'll find this room full of spikes, and you'll find yourselves the Space Pirate Elites. Now these guys are super annoying, just because the only way to deal damage to them is that when they eventually do their second karate kicks, you have to shoot a charge at them twice in order to kill them. You can probably shoot a super missile at it, but I haven't been worried about that. Anyway, with those two defeated, you can now make your way all the way over here now, and there's a whole bunch of enemies and stuff over here, so you can grab yourself as much health and missiles as you need. And trust me, you'll need it, because in a couple rooms over, you'll finally come face to face against Ridley. Now this Ridley fight, a lot harder than most, because not only do you get like a really small platform to fight him, but he starts using his tail as a weapon, his very iconic tail as a weapon. He takes a lot of hits, he moves around so much, and there's lava all over the place. And not only that, he also grabs you from time to time, depleting your health, but it does allow you to get some good shots in. And look at that, he actually got me down to last hit too. Luckily I got those reserve tanks in here. And with that, and with a very close call, literally depleting all my super missiles and only down to my last missile, we defeat Ridley. And with that, we enter the next room over there. We see that the Metroid larva is gone now. But before you leave, there's actually a hidden energy tank right there. Grab it so you can give yourself a nice full restore before going right after the fight. Because trust me, you don't want to have to be dealing with all these little nonsense and then die right there. But now, with Ridley gone, we are left to wonder, where is the Metroid larva? Well, what you want to do now is head right out of Norfair, head straight to the right over here. You'll find yourself another energy tank over here. You can technically get this before you fight Ridley, but I like having it afterwards because this area up here actually just kind of rounds about all the way back to the place we need to go. Then if you super bomb these area over here, you can find yourself a hidden area that leads to another power bomb over there. Then if you start making your way left, you'll start seeing all these rising and falling magma. And what you want to do from here is lay a power bomb right here to reveal a hidden passage that leads to another missile pack. And you're probably wondering, well, with Ridley gone, well, what's the point of getting all these missiles? Well, for two reasons. One, it's a Metroid game. You want to be collecting as many items and stuff as you can on your ways to areas. And two, if Ridley is gone, then how come the game hasn't ended? That's because there's something more going on here. But before we get too far into it, we have to figure out where it is. And luckily, I'll just go right over to it. But first, what you want to do is head all the way back to your ship to give yourself some nice refills on both your health and all your weapons. Because trust me, you do not want to be blasting away enemies for this. And before you get to the ship, if you climb all the way up here to the right side over here, you'll find yourself a hidden little area to give yourself some more power bomb ammo and these weird little ostrich creatures. And here, after saving out your ship and collecting all this stuff, at this point you should have 180 missiles, 35 power bombs, and 35 super missiles. Now this is where you're presented with a choice. So at this point you can rush your way all the way back over here. You'll see this golden statues of every boss in the game that we had to fight. Craig, that weird ship thing, the water beast, and Ridley. It'll lower down to reveal ourselves the next area. But before that, actually, there is one other thing I need to do. You see, there is one canon event that happens in Super Metroid that is optional, gameplay-wise, but it is canon because of what happens in future games. What happens is when you were trying to 100% item collection or get just as much items as you can, go back into this grasslands area to try to get everything you can, it actually reveals this hidden race right here. Now, if you listen carefully, they actually chime a little song, and it's the same song as whenever you collected a power-up in this game, and they chime it because they're about to teach you something incredible. Well, they teach you the hidden abilities that Samus can do in this game. If you notice some of my areas over here, you'll notice that I have been wall jumping off walls to try to get to areas faster. Well, what you probably didn't know is that technically Samus doesn't know this at this point, apparently. In fact, these little creatures are the reason why she's able to wall jump in the future 2D Metroid games at this point. The only thing that's a little bit weird is that in the remake of Metroid Zero, she can wall jump off walls already in that game. And that should be not possible considering, you know, the events of this game. She technically shouldn't be able to wall jump, but again, that's one of those things where it's better game-wise, but because it conflicts with the story, people probably shouldn't take it as face value. But I think people do just because, you know, it is technically a better game. I don't know. I think because of that little thing, people should. That's why I really like considering the classics a little bit more than the other things, because they probably have better visions than that. Because like I said, Even though it is technically better for the game for her to actually do have wall jumps, if it conflicts with the cannon, then it shouldn't matter much. Again, the tricks in this game is hard. And immediately after that, come up here, power bomb this little area right over here, and then super speed over these tiles right over here. And if you fall down over here, you'll go to this little health upgrade over here, and you'll find yourself a cool little ostrich little creature over here. And he actually teaches you that if you sprint really fast, stop momentarily, you can actually charge up that super speed and use it to propel yourself upwards. Again, super cool. And all of this is canon events that happen in Metroid. So again, it's probably canon that Samus got 100% of the items, but I won't mark it for right now just because I don't feel like collecting all the items right now. But I will point these two out just because it is canon. But anyway, with all that done, let's start making our way. Let's head on downwards to go fight the final boss in this game. But once we head on down, you'll see like there's a whole bunch of Metroids, as well as a whole giant computer system, very reminiscent of Metroid 1 again over here. But luckily, as we travel on down, with how stacked we are at this point, Metroids are proven no good. But as we continue down, so many things start getting more and more petrified. And as this little hopper approaches up, we see why. We see a big Metroid over here. Start training it, and then start training us. Now, unfortunately, what you want to do is just let it happen. It'll get you down to 1 health, but once it does, it just leaves you alone. In a little bit area over here, it actually gives you a nice full re-health as well as a weapons thing. Anyway, then you come all the way to over here, you'll find yourself in a place very reminiscent of the very first Metroid game, where you fight against Mother Brains, the computer system area again. And if you learn anything like that, you can easily get through this whole thing pretty fast. But as soon as you defeat this jarred up Mother Brain, we'll see that she actually has evolved. It now sheds its basic form and turns into a giant reptilian robotic thing, capable of really big destruction, both by its hands, its eyes, and its legs. But again, shouldn't be too big. What is that after a certain point in defeating it, it actually gives you one last gimmick where it shoots you with a very powerful eye laser that we are not prepared for. In fact, it brings us all the way to the point of death where we can't do anything. But this is when our good deeds finally comes to reward us, as that Metroid, baby Metroid, finally shows itself as the giant Metroid, attaches itself to Mother Brain, absorbs its energy, causing it to stagger for a bit, and gives that energy over to us, refilling all our health meter. But as it's doing that, it's also shielding us from Mother Brain's attacks. And it's actually powerful enough to actually defeat the baby Metroid, thus accidentally killing it right in front of us. But in its last instance of life, it actually gives us the last remaining powers it absorbed, thus giving us the Hyper Beam, which is pretty much Mother Brain's beams. And with it, we can easily dispatch Mother Brain. But unfortunately, this starts another self-destruct sequence. So we have to quickly mad dash out of this whole place all over again. But I will make one note here. Because there is actually a hidden ending in this little escape sequence over here. As soon as you get back onto the surface area over here, you do remember that very first place where we got our very first power-up, or not our first power-up, you know where we used our morph ball for the very first time? Well, if you go back to that place over there, you'll see all those friendly creatures that actually taught us all those skills reveal a hidden passage, and they start running out of there. Make sure all of them escape, then you can head right back into your ship. And I'll put us side by side. Did you see the difference? No? Well, it is pretty subtle, but you can see one little glimmer of light shoot off into the distance, meaning that those creatures did manage to escape the planet's burst. Which does go to show that even though Samus Aran, as we all know, is a bounty hunter, she still has a heart of gold, willing to save the wildlife. Whether it's Metroids or these little creatures of Zamas. Again, very touching. And with that, we get a clear time of 2 hours and 20 minutes. Let's fucking go. And we get the good ending, where we see the sexiest Samus has ever looked. Even though it's only 4-bit. And with that, that's Super Metroid in a nutshell. Catch you guys later.